Mm. Hey, what's going on, world? It's me again, Ethan Smith, aka Mr. Peen. Big Sarge, large and in charge of my one and only self. Taking myself up off the shelf to discover my greatest internal wealth on myself. You ain't gonna believe what just happened to me. I've been on this thing for 8 minutes just talking, and you was not there with me. I've been on this thing just talking, and you were not there with me. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I had a nice smooth intro and everything, don't you know? I talked about task conditions and standards, don't you know? I talked about taking control and having control. Do you possess it? Let me show you what the topic was about today. Control. Do you possess it? I did the intro and everything, and I thought we was live on the scene. But I guess what I didn't understand, since I had did the scheduling, once the intro goes off, it's still going to wait for you to go live. I didn't have control of what I thought I did today. And that's a learning lesson, might I say. And it kind of takes me right into the topic. And I'm not going to hold back. I'm just going to go into that. I'm not going to hold you all night. It's just going to be me and you. Whiskey Charlie had to do some work things. That's what they called him to. And y'all understand how Whiskey Charlie, how he loves you, but he truly believes in we do what we need to do in order to do what we want to do. He needs to continue to ascend up the ladder at his place of job, at his place of business, at his career path, in order to provide for his family the way he chooses to, that he does so very well. So he wanted to say thank you, bless you, he love you, he miss you, he'll see you next time that he come through. But he don't get to control his schedule the way he wants to. Not currently right now. What about you? Do you possess the control that you want for you? Do you? Big Sarge is all tongue tied too. You heard me come on talking about Mr. Peen talking to you. Do you possess the control for you? What is control? You ask. The power to influence or direct people's behavior or the course of events. The power to influence or direct people's behavior or the course of events. I'm gonna have to switch glasses for this because I see I'm gonna have to do some reading. But I don't like the bright light in my face, and I just like keeping on the sunglasses. It's kind of different in the army way. But yeah, this just don't seem to work for me. This don't feel like a big Sarge face. This don't feel like an infantry combat face that you're gonna respect today. Not to say the glasses is a discredited anyway, but for big Sarge today, it just don't seem to flow that way. Yeah, this seems to work better for me today. So anyhow, getting back to control and what that looks like for you and what you're able to do. The power to influence or direct people's behavior or the course of events. Do you possess it? Do you possess it? Yes, you do. Let's just get that straight to the point and get that past you. Yes, you possess it. Control. Do you possess it? Do you possess the power to influence or direct people's behavior or the course of events? Yes, you do. My grunt brothers, if you have children, they follow you. If you have a wife, they follow you. It's no different than your team who looked up to you, who did what you were able to do based on the things that you taught them and what they seen from you too. You have control to influence the people, but you got to first start by influencing you. You got to first start by influencing you. Yeah, yeah. We possess the power and we possess the control in order to find our way through land nav and day and night, order how to learn how to navigate from the starlight, learning how to use terrain features and things as such, and hoping one day we never had to test our luck and not rely on our GPS systems and those things. But I came up in a time where most people didn't do that type of GPS tracking. You still had to use your map and your protracting and your compass, and you had to know how to use that as such, how to illuminate that compass light at night just to get you on your azimuth right. You had to be able to take control of events that was happening in your life. You had to. I thought I was already going live when I was talking to you for about 8 or 9 minutes too. But then I realized, oh my God, I'm not even talking to you. Let me go back and start over and change my view. But instead of going through all the dragging out in the introduction for you, just want to get straight to the point and tell you, yes, 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 you do. You do possess control. But are you using the control that you possess for you? Some, 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 one happens when you're in control. One happens in your control. One happens in your control. An event takes place in your control. During the same time, within the same thing, a different occurrence can come in the same event. Well, a different event. One happens when things are out of your control. Fortunately, they both represent success. One takes place in your control. One happens that's not in your control when it's out of control. But fortunately, they both represent success. Control, do you possess it? What am I talking about when I say one happens in your control and one happens without your control? Read my hat. Don't you know? A CIB is a procedures award in the infantry. It represents the combat that you see. And for me, it was an old school way too. How I had to earn that thing that I was able to do. How to earn my CIB badge, I had to receive fire, contact shooting, and I had to return fire too. Now, during different parts of my time and my tour later on, as my tour became to an end, it was a different point of view. Some people said a IED or a incoming round had to land within 100 meters or 100 feet of you. But that's not what I went through in order to get my badge that I'm representing to you, the reef with the rifle, how it come through. I had to do it the old school, we like to say, grunt way. I had to fight that thing for a multitude of days before I earned that thing. And that was okay, but that was something that wasn't in my control when it happened that day. That was something that wasn't in my control when it happened that day. I had no idea how I was going to respond, but I believed that everything would be okay. Listen to what I'm saying to you. I had no idea how I would respond that day when the action came my way. Would I be prepared to take control? Would I be prepared to take control? I found out I was able to. But what I really want to talk about you was what's in your control and what's out of your control. And most infantry guys know that EIB versus that CIB. And it's the same way in life. Some things you really control and some things you feel like is controlling. But you may not control everything that happens to you, but you control how you respond to everything that you went through. EIB versus CIB. The EIB is within your control to a certain degree. Now, back in my day, we used to have this thing that we used to call EIB holders, badge protectors, and we would say that they were grading hard because they only wanted to let a certain amount of individuals in. It was protecting their badge. When in all rights and all regards, they were upholding a standard or a quality that meant you were an expert in your field. Now, again, combat infantry badge, this has a wreath around the rifle as such. The EIB itself is without this wreath, it's just the rifle. Some would say the EIB is more prestigious than the CIB. Some would say the CIB is more prestigious than the EIB. Some would say one is earned, one is given. Some would say a multitude of things, a multitude of ways. But what I do know and what I'm talking about today is about one of these things is in your control, and the other one of these things happens when you have no control. You just happen to use some of your tools and your resources to take control of a thing. In order to get the EIB, in order to get a college degree, in order to get a high school diploma, in order to be married successfully, you have to take some controlling. The EIB had steps and strategies from throwing hand grenades to running to land naving to a multitude of things. In my 15 years in the National Guard, I might have seen the EIB come around 3 times. And as a young infantry soldier, I really didn't prepare my mind. I really didn't prepare physically. It wasn't one of those things that was drilled into me because we was more so preparing for a deployment, and we wasn't for sure if we were going to do EIB, and it required extensive training. And I want to say in the active duty format, that's mainly one of the main things they do, especially when they're not in the field, is train for that task, because the EIB states I am an expert in my field. I was able to take control of these situations and these things that I needed to get done. Oh, excuse Big Sarge. These things that I needed to get done in order to be successful at this thing. You have to be controlling. Pause. Y'all know how I go. You got that old school Sarge, my old school soldiers from back in the day. They know Big Sarge. He just be going sometimes a mile a minute. And they act like they ain't listen what I had to say, and some of them got tired of hearing what I had to say. But I tell you what, it's great. It's great to see nowadays when they shoot me a chat or a message to say, "Man, I remember those stories from back in the day. I miss hearing those things that you had to say. It's good to hear them again." So again, just talking about this control thing, talking about this EIB versus this CIB, they're happening at different times, but fortunately they both consider to be successful. When you earn your EIB, it's like a big party. You know, when you earn your CIB, it's like a big party. You welcomed into a brotherhood. But for me specifically, although I don't have an EIB, I think an EIB takes more discipline in, because there are steps and procedures that you have to follow. You don't get this on sheer talent or will. If it's alpha through golf, they expect you to do alpha through golf and in no other order. It doesn't matter if a task can happen faster. It doesn't matter if it's more efficient a different way. Did you follow the task conditions and standards to the T? And if you didn't follow the task conditions and standards to the T, you didn't earn your EIB. And that takes a control, that takes a discipline that most individuals lack. When you want to get through dealing with PTSD and the things that we've seen and the things that you dealt with in Iraq and the buddies that we lost and the things that was uncomfortable you, that takes a discipline, and it takes a control, and it takes a facing of fear, and it takes an accountability, and it takes a responsibility, and it takes following the proper steps. It is only then that we earn or achieve the illustrious things such as EIB, the illustrious things such as college degree, the illustrious things such as just a diploma, depending on what the neighborhood you may come from, what you growing up, what you had to see. Whether you are in the urban environment, inner city, or you are backwoods country. Some people didn't strive for much as you and me, but when you are in control of the everything, the main thing, then that's when you contain an expert in anything that you do. Perfection, no. Expert, that part is true. Mm-mm. Mm. Big Sarge got some key lime string from the bag in my tea. Attempted to come after me, wanted to get me up out of here. I wasn't in control. Let me check down these comments below. Hey, I don't see nobody no more, but that's okay. We gonna continue with the show. Who are you in control of? We talked about what it is, but who are you in control of specifically? I'm only in control of myself, my children to a certain degree, I may want to believe, but I'm only in control of myself. Every human being has the power and ability to do anything that they choose to do. We sometimes attempt to exercise that power or that lack of or that little bit of control or attempt to emotionally, psychologically hold the power over the ones that we want to. That's why I asked, is it emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, physically? How are you holding your control true? If you don't understand that you have to be 100% in control of you, then you can't help anybody else get through. You have to be willing to hold your own self accountable. You have to be willing to put your own self on a pedestal. You have to be willing to tell yourself, I need help too. You have to be willing to tell yourself, I'm not able to do what I thought I could do, not by myself. Who do you need to reach out to? You are the one that's in control of you. It's no different when you was in firefights. Big Sarge, your team leader, your squad leader, your platoon sergeant, nobody came and lifted your rifle up and squeezed the trigger for you. Now, basic training, if you could have been one of those, I might have seen things like that a time or two. But in combat, nobody had to do that for you. You was in control of how you reacted when things start happening to you, and you have to do the same back home in your life too. Now, there's some of my brothers out there that's doing amazing, and they were able to change their view. They didn't let what happened in Iraq or Afghanistan or Africa, the Horn of Djibouti, or any other parts of the world that you may have deployed to Ukraine. You didn't let that break you. You didn't let that break you. You was able to build off of that thing. But there's some of our brothers that are still going through and that's not in control of that thing that they want to do. So I implore you to sit down, get a pen and a notepad, and start to write down, what does control look like for you? What is control? And then ask yourself, who are you in control of? Who are you in control of? And then you got to know why it's important. Who, what, when, where, why, how. Army, task, conditions, and standards. Within those tasks, they told you what the task was, what you needed to do, who was doing it, why it was doing it, the conditions that it needed to be done to. This is what makes it effective and say that it's complete. The task, the condition, and the standards. This is what success looks like when it's done. This is how we know. This is how we grade it. As my mentor said, SMART goals. It's specific, measurable, and is it attainable? You know, is it realistic in a timetable? So this is how we grade. This is how we grade it. Why? Why is control important? It gives you the power to make sound decisions as well as decide who or what you allow in your energy and space. This control or lack of control of the things in your life can have a tremendous impact, adding or taking away your value. Why is control important? It gives you the power to make sound decisions as well as decide who or what you allow in your energy and space. This control or lack of control of the things in your life can have a tremendous impact, adding or taking away your value. Why is control important to you? Who are you allowing to entertain your space? When old Sarge was still in the military, the MPs didn't hang out with the infantry. We just wasn't allowed in that space because we had control measures that we implied in a different way. Now we all kind of fell under the same rule book and certain standards, but they had certain things that they had to do for the job that they were into that sometimes went against the things that we were into based on the job we were happening to do. So we couldn't always let each other into one another's space, although we operated the same in some spaces on the same days. And it was one thing our battalion commander was able to do, or he was happy to say, I need y'all to go link up with your sister unit and y'all need to live together to learn how to operate. And that's just what we happened to do. And it worked out too. It wound up being pretty cool. Excuse me. Um, I have to get back to that. I'm sorry, y'all. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. But anyhow, as I was saying, going back to why it's important and who you let in your space and why you have to build a team of individuals who believe the way you do. That's why that's important for you. But when? When should you begin to start exercising your control? When do you take power? When do you exercise that power that you possess? It's kind of like reactive fire. As a squad leader, or is it just a private Joe Snuffy, a first year guy, first 6 months guy? You didn't need anyone to tell you when to exercise your right to squeeze your trigger if you're fired upon. You had PID, you had positive identification, then you could return fire and you could address the situation. You was in complete control of making that decision. And then there's other times when somebody else has to take control, they have to take control immediately. They may say cease fire because they see an unsafe act happen, and it has to happen immediately. So depending on the caliber of the event that's currently taking place in your life at that time, control needs to be exercised immediately, right then and there, or it needs to take action now or in that moment. Control is required. There's no time like the present. Nothing else is guaranteed. Even if I have to say, and you say, well, sometimes you need to take a tactical pause and think about things. That's true, but you still have to take action in that moment to say, you know what? Give me 24 hours to think about this. I had a friend of mine, or I've had a buddy of mine, and you'd be on deployment. Hey, man, they got salsa again tonight. Or, hey, man, you want to go on a run? Hey, you want to hit the gym late? Hey, give me 24 hours to think about it. Give me 4 hours to think about it. You're taking control in that time to at least give a answer. So you may not be able to do it right then and there, but you do have the power to take control immediately right then and there and make a prepared decision for something that you may need to decide on later. You know what I'm saying? So at all times, you have to remember that, hey, I have the power to control everything, that how I react to everything in my life. And then I also have the power to exercise that thing immediately, because my time is very limited. I have no idea when it expires. So I have to take control of each and every second of it because it's mine. So immediately, as Big Sarge would say. How can taking control of your life, how can taking control effect as well as affect, affect as well as effect the outcome of your life? How can you taking control of your life affect as well as effect the outcome of your life? Well, we clearly know, being Grunt brothers, and if you have anyone in your family that was in the infantry or combat arms, and you may have heard them talk about or express before the the importance of how taking control in certain situations change the outcome of their life by listening to that still small voice, or that hair that stood up on the back of their neck that just happened to save their life, or happening to go left when you needed to go right and saving somebody else's life. How taking control can affect or have an effect on your life when you do things such as I have done, being in multiple firefights and not realizing when I got out of the vehicle to engage and neutralize the threat, to getting back in the vehicle and putting my weapon back on safe and driving down the road. Like, not knowing how much my training had affected me, to where when they say it becomes muscle memory, it truly becomes muscle memory. Do you have that type of control to where your body remembers, yo, it's time to go? This happens naturally. I don't even know how it affected me to where it was in my spirit so surely. So anyhow, how can taking control affect as well as effect the outcome of your life? I believe by exercising control in your life, you create a discipline and consistency that can catapult you to your visions, dreams, and goals. This can also create balance in your home and work life. Control is key. How can taking control affect as well as effect the outcome of your life? I believe by exercising control in your life, you create a discipline and consistency that can catapult you to your visions, dreams, and goals. This can also create balance in your home and work life. Control is key. How you set boundaries in your life is how your life starts to outcome, how it begins to change. How it begins to change. How you set boundaries in your life is how your life begins to change. I'm getting a little frozen, man. That means I'm gonna have to shut it down soon on you because I don't know what my internet is going through. So let me continue. That was my last card right there, but how it can control can affect the outcome and affect the outcome of your life. And I kind of spoke on it earlier, getting into combat, getting into ugly situations, right? Let's take it a little bit step closer. You back at home, right? And how can exercise control affect your life when your wife or your children says something to you that's uncomfortable to you, and you can't respond like the soldier used to? When a job that you're working asks you to do something that you don't believe you should do, you can't blow off the handle like the loose cannon used to. One of the first things you have to do in control is get in touch with your EQ, your emotional intelligence, as I heard an individual say. You have to not take things so personal anyway. You have to learn to understand that this is my life and I'm the masters of my emotions every single day. And until we take control that way, then we often lose control and we don't find our way to that internal space, that internal peace that day. It's kind of like when you land laughing and you figure it out. Maybe it was just for me. And you figure it out how to really plot that thing and how to be able to walk to what you can't actually physically see right in front of you. But as you walk it out and you look at the map and you plot that thing and you strategize that thing, what you've seen on paper becomes your physical reality because you took control of what you could see. Have you just happened to give up control of what you could see and your victory? I need you to get your control back today, Grunts. I need you to get your control back today, Grunts. I need you to remember that we make weapons talk 6 to 9 round bursts, machine guns, M249s, M240 Bravos. You have to be in control. You have to stay online. You have to stay in your lane. You have to maintain your intervals. If you really want to grow, you have to stay in control. So if you don't know, if you don't remember, I need you to know you are in complete control, and how you take control is going to affect your squad's life today. It's going to affect your team's life today. It's going to affect your platoon today. It's going to affect your company today. It's going to affect your battalion today. It's going to affect your brigade today. It's going to affect your family in a way that you put the control in your space, because they led by you, and they guided by you today. My grunt brothers, I dare you to allow control to lead your way. I dare you to look at tasks, conditions, and standards in a different way. No matter what others may think of you, you got to know it's okay to just be you. That's what I love about being true blue. We had every walk of life who came through the infantry too. And everybody that got an opportunity to volunteer with us, they had the same sentiment too. They always talked about you infantry guys were crazy, but they definitely will love on you, and they will protect you too. It means something to be true blue. We have to affect the world in a different way, but you have to take control of you. You have to know you have control too. And truly exercising your control is getting any help that you may need for you spiritually. You don't know how to pray, DM me, reach out to me. Go back to the old school word, the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. But lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. And wherever your spiritual prayer may be, I don't know all the ones. That's the one I know for me. So make sure you get control spiritually. Make sure you get control emotionally. Speak happy things to you. Speak uplifting things to you, Grunt. Speak victory for you. Speak it in the ugly way if you have to, but do what you got to do to get control of you spiritually, emotionally, financially. Look at your money and plan for what you want your money to do, how you want your money to grow. Get that debt up off of you. You're the lender, not the borrower. Control what you do. Come through physically. What do you want to look like for you? What do you want to feel like for you? What type of fuel are you putting in your body for you? What type of fuel are you putting in your body for you? Is the fuel that you're putting in your body helping you control what you want to control, to look like the way you say you want to feel like the way you say you want to, Grunt? We're just talking about control today. The power to influence someone or something in a way. Events change the outcome. You get to change the outcome, the events of your life. God don't even force himself on you like that, right? He's such a gentleman. He said, for I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you. But he still allows you to take the steps and do what you want to do, because he don't come force you. But you got to be in control of that too. You got to be prepared for that. No matter what others may think of you, you got to know that it's okay to just be you, but the power and the control lies in your hand. Man and woman. Excuse me. That's it. That's all you get from me. I hope this motivation and inspiration was some for your situation. Free and relax your mind. Grunt speak time. This has been Big Sarge, large and in charge of his one and only self, taking myself up off the shelf to discover and find my greatest eternal wealth. I'm a little rusty, I must say so myself, remembering the intro and outro for me. It'll be back, and we all get rusty. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful night. Live your life right and take control of your life today. That's all I got to say. Whiskey Charlie, salute to you, my brother. Peace.